Welcome to Civic Space TV, where we engage Uganda's most pressing civic and political issues and questions. My name is Kato Gilbert Bitariho, bring you today on Civic Space TV. I am honored to moderate this important discussion, but also joined by good and great panelists of this country. And we are answering and looking into a bold statement and decision that is going on within our country, making sense of the emergences of political parties and formations ahead of the 2026. If I may tell you something small, that back from 2005, 2006, until that time, Uganda signed a referendum on July 28th to have political parties start and take root in Uganda. Since then, we've been having this multi-party system. But in the recent months, we have seen more and new political parties emerge and form. Today we're asking questions: are these political parties bringing new ideologies, or these are just renaming and reshaping old ideologies and patterns that are coming up? Joining me on this important discussion are gentlemen and one lady. On the far right, we have Enock Kisakye from Nkumba University. Midst, we have Diana Kirabo from Cavendish University, and we have the Guild President of Medicare Health Professionals. Glad to have you here, and at this moment, I would love to give you an opportunity to greet us, but also say hello to our viewers. I will start with Enock.
Oh, thank you very much for the opportunity granted. My name is Kisakye Enock, and I am a student of Nkumba University. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Enock.
Thank you for having me, moderator. My name is Diana Kirabo, and I am a finalist law school, Cavendish University. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, moderator. My name is James Nkuranga, a medical student at Medicare in Mengo. I'm also privileged to be the Guild President. Good afternoon, viewers.
Thank you so much, our dear panelists, for joining us today and for being here. We are looking at something very critical looking at the time we are having. We've just concluded the NRM primaries, and we've seen what has happened. But also we have seen a lot more political formations and parties coming up. The total as we talk now is around 33 political parties in Uganda that are all coming up and all facing the 2026 election. As this is coming up, there are a lot of questions coming in mind, and this is where I want us to begin it from. What are the main drivers behind this emergence of new political parties and movements in Uganda today? What could be that driver that is maybe bringing up this? Is there something these people have not seen and they're bringing on board? Are these political fragmentations coming up because they are after something, or it's because someone is just pushing their own interests? What really is pushing and driving this emergence of new political parties, formations, and all these that we're seeing coming up? I'll start with the gentleman who is the Guild President of Medicare Health Professionals. What do you think are the drivers of these political formations?
Thank you, moderator. To start with, I think before we look into political parties, we have also to look at the nature of human beings. We are naturally egocentric. We go for what benefits us. And initially, before independence, when we were starting, and these independent parties, when they were starting, the one that drove Africa to independence, most of them were eager, were looking at independence. And the biggest driver was to chase the white man, bring independence, and govern our societies. But as we advance now, the ideal has become more egocentric than the ideologies. Because these political parties, most of them mushroom actually towards elections. After elections, they disappear. Another election, they appear. It's like appear, disappear, appear, disappear. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest ideal, most especially here in Uganda, first of all, look at iPod money. Mm-hmm. I think iPod money has done a lot to motivate these parties to mushroom. Because someone is strategizing. If maybe they have one member in parliament, then they'll get that money annually. Another factor I will attribute it to the government currently. You can see that the government has served for long. and as forces of nature can determine, the head is aging, and people have actually started to strategize. They are not sure where they will be in the next 5 years. So people are strategizing to form actually these political parties. But while we are doing all that, I don't think the political parties are serious enough to look at the problems of the society. I don't think that I don't want to underestimate the days of small beginning. Even the ANCs, even the Chama Penduzis, they all started small. And I know even these political parties that are starting, they have ability to make it, as long as they have the correct ideas, correct ideologies to mobilize the people. But the problem now that they have shifted from being political parties, they have actually become political events. We call cameras, we jubilate, we announce the president. That is the last you hear. So I think the parties are there, but the drive is not there. Yes.
Thank you so much. The only lady on the show, when she entered in, we all thought maybe she belongs to Chama Cha Demokrasia, which is the Democratic Party. But she refuted that and said she has no party, and actually if there are chances and plans, she will form her own. James speaks of these drivers to be uncertainties, lack of confidence in the current government, but also people pushing for their own interests. In your own perspective, what do you think these are the drivers for the new formations of these political parties and formations that we're seeing currently in this country and as we look up to 2026?
Thank you, moderator. Even with the slaps about colors. I'd like us to first study our history when it comes to political parties before we can condemn who is coming up or who is not coming up. Because we see in our history before independence, we had the Uganda National Congress formed by Ignatius Musazi, just pre-independence. And post-independency, we see the Democratic Party, like you said, Uganda People's Congress, and no, then it was Uganda People's Congress and Kabaka come up. So in the late 60s, in the 60s and the late, we see we see the Milton Obote's faction merge with the Kabaka to have the Prime Minister's Obote, as we were now having organized politics as a country. So we couldn't be here where we are today if it wasn't for those of Ignatius Musazi. His party was like the inaugural of Uganda political parties, and then with the formation of now the four, we had now proper political representation. When the NRM comes, when President Museveni takes over power, he thinks we shouldn't even have a party because I mean he was coming from a very good place. He was fighting for peace, and he said, so these things seem to be dividing us. So let's enter into a no party. So that is the movement system. We actually didn't have a party. But it's good to try and test. He wasn't the only one. Universally, the United States of America and every other organized country had actually dealt away with those parties because they thought they were good at dividing us. Naturally, we are divided. I'm a woman, he's a man. That's already a division. We are divided by race, we are divided by color, we are a lot, ethnicity. So naturally, I think we're just divided. So to think that political parties
divided or different?
No, there are divisions, not really divided in things that we collide, no, but there are divisions. So I think the people that thought political parties were harmful later realized that no, we could actually have a unity through political parties because then we have identities. Him and I can belong now to the same group without feeling any different. And so that is when they come back in 2005, like you said, the referendum. So to me, I think political parties are a voice where an average citizen can confront government. It's like a tool. I wouldn't confront government if I was just a normal walking person on the road. I wouldn't have access. So I think political parties open that to us, and we are given access. Why they are emerging or they are becoming more and more, I think one, there's evolution. Every other year we get to know better. From 2006 up to today, I am sure every election has given us better lessons. I think as politicians, maybe there is, personally I'm independent, and the reason I'm independent is because I feel they are all there, but nothing really touches to what I would want to see. And so if I woke up tomorrow and I said I'm starting mine, I think I'm living within my rights to better myself. So the drives are basically that. Professor Mahmoud put it right and said political parties in Africa are often vehicles of control than representation. So it's also, I think, government, we think we are being given access to tools, to government tools, but no, also government is given control over us. So I think it's a win-win situation, but it's a good place to be.
Okay, thank you so much, Diana. She says it's a good place to be, but also she takes us back to the good history of this nation. That for close to about 19 or 20 years, from 1986, when the movement takes power, because it comes and says we have won the loyalty of the people and we are coming because we are restored peace, and until 2005, we have of us getting this referendum, we are being ruled by a single party, and these political parties come up. 2006, we get the first multi-party election happening, and that's when we have the biggest contender. By that time, Dr. Kisakye Enock was still in jail. But now we are seeing these things because it's almost the same thing happening now. Most of these things are they coming to look at the unmet needs of the people. You look at the voter fatigue. She says it herself that she cannot join any party. She would rather form hers. And we're looking at those formations and emergencies. In your own way of looking at these things, Honorable Enock, what do you think are the drivers of this? Are you different from what she says or what he says? Is there something new you think is actually the driver of these parties? Or do you think they are coming to really solve the problem, which has been a failure in the current ruling political party? What do you think?
Thank you very much. She has really tried to explain, but I would also look at the emergence of these parties connected to, should I say, it is really connected to the fact that politics has been materialized and commercialized, and so it is being seen as a source of wealth. And of course, if you look at politicians, most employed job right now is almost a politician, and it's no longer looked as a public place, office or servanthood. Someone is people come up to aspire not because of ideology, not because they want to really represent, but because they know there is a gain. You know, politics, even the people who are voting are also not voting because of ideology, but they are voting because what can I gain? You know, someone comes and splashes money, and then I give you a vote. It's no longer a vote on a merit. It's about what can you bring on the table and financially. We also realize that politics are the cause of this emergency of these political parties also is affiliated to, I think, conflict resolution among other political parties. That might also come about because of inexperience, I would say, inexperience sometimes. Also, you know, the way you handle issues in your political party determines a lot. You know, if issues that should be handled indoor then again displayed on the platforms for people to see, it means you're weakening someone. And if you're always weakening someone, that person thinks that you are fighting them. So they always come up with emerging forces, and you realize that, okay, since they're fighting me, I would also emerge and form a political party. We also look at the ideology. Sometimes, as she said, people have different ideologies. You know, we look at a political party and their ideology, and you realize that maybe this ideology is not really inclining to mine, and I feel like they are really departing away from what the fact is. We are seeing these political parties coming a lot, emerging. I think they're also pushed by the power to some extent they're pushed by the power to rule. Everyone wants to rule. We have greed. Everyone wants to rule. Everyone wants to be a leader. Because if we didn't have greed, maybe I would really settle.
Maybe the leaders present are not doing it.
Because if we wanted to set, if we want to really create change, then why don't we unite? You know, there is power in unity. Why don't we be in one accord?
We are already united.
You know, how are we united? We have to be united in a form that let all these political parties, oppositions, if they feel like they really want to fight or create change, they should come together and work together. That means that if they work together, they would really push a one voice. But this fragmenting themselves really beats my mind, because I realize that they no longer fight one person or one goal, but they end up fighting each other. You know, you can just see it. You're seeing this is an opposition constituency, but another opposition member is already bringing from a different party. So I think it's no longer about the major role of the political parties of either driving change, but it's about gain. How much do I gain? How many members of parliament do I gain? Youths are also coming up with parties because they are disturbed. They don't know where to go. They find out that the people they would lead are not exemplary. You know, so if the people are not exemplary, someone saying I am coming up to do this, I will do this, and this, and then at the end they instead befit themselves and enrich themselves. So basically that's what I would think about the drives for the emergence of political parties.
Thank you so much, Enock, and I would love to pick it up from there. This takes us to just this other question I want to look at, because when all of you speak, you're showing us that there is actually a need for these political parties to come up. Actually, all of you put it right that, yeah, these political parties are coming up and there's a need for us to have more of them. But when you analyze these political parties, most of them coming up, it's a breakaway from existing political party, it's either something that is coming from another political party, it's a renaming of something that was already existing, it is something that is just coming, not really a complete new formation, because I was telling you that some of them were seeing the peasants, but has been there. Just some of them, someone breathes life into them and they come up. And this is targeting the 2026. Does this come to show us that indeed there is a crisis in the current system of the current political party, and everyone who is coming is addressing that? Because if we all accept that there's a driver for these, and these that are failing to unite, what is this crisis that all of them are coming? Most of you say they should unite for a goal. What is this goal that some of them should actually come and unite for? What do you think is that particular goal they should come for? There are very many unmet needs of political parties. Political parties are formed to do something. Maybe someone believes they haven't done it and they're coming on board to do it. What's that?
Thank you so much, moderator. To me, the problems of our society actually, they don't need space science. Our problem and the problems of the people is one. They don't have where to sell products. They don't have market. If the political parties are serious and they want to address the problems of the society, look for the markets of the products. If I have where to sell my beef, my other things that I produce, and I get money, you will have solved my problem 70%. But the problem is that political parties should have been a means to the end, which end is solving people's problems. But they have actually now become become the end themselves. Like the process is the end. I form a political party, we go on TV, we talk, and that is done. But the real problem, if the society has to advance and transform, is you'll have to look for markets. And markets are looked through competition. Right now, the markets are controlled by the big powers. But there are countries, the small states, that have defied odds and really penetrated the markets, and they are everywhere. When you look at a country like Singapore, it's a small island, not even bigger than Uganda as a kingdom, but it has the GDP bigger than the GDP of East Africa. Yet we all got independence from the British in the early 60s. But how did they penetrate through the odds and they make prosperity for their people? They have had one party, it is called PAP, People's Action Party. It has led Singapore from independence up to date, but it's one of the richest countries. Its GDP combines East Africa plus DRC and some other neighboring countries. Do
you suggest us living in a multi-party system now that you talk about one party?
No, even Singapore doesn't have only one party. A country like the United States has two parties, the major, the DP and the Democrats, but has like other 38 parties that are registered and there. But people will get attracted to what works for them. So having a lot of parties does not actually solve the problem. What solves the problem is following logic and doing what is right. So what these parties should do, really look at, whether small or what is in existence, is going for the stem. What do these people want? Ugandans are not these people. They produce. Like now there's PDM. People are going to produce. They're going to produce a lot of things. And when they produce, supply will shoot and demand will go down and definitely price will go down. Now when I produce my coffee and it has no market, I'm going to get demoralized and abandon the garden. Tomorrow you find me a poor man, and these emerging political parties are going to use me. So the real problems of our society is not political organizations. It is actually that we don't have where to sell our products as Ugandans, as Africa. There's no one who's talking about federation. There's no one, they are talking about I don't know, Rusania, I don't know.
The next election.
The next election, then after the next election. Then we talk, little benefits you have seen during these annual primaries, the things they give, petty things. Why do people get attracted to petty things? Because it is the much they have seen. So, to me, let these political parties touch and feel the pulse and go for what works for the people.
As we crossed her, is it, I'm still on you, when all these problems you identify, do you blame them to the existing party that other parties are coming to challenge, or it's a collective blame you're giving to all of them?
No.
Who takes this blame for those unmet needs and challenges we are having?
For me, I don't want to, because the problem is when you follow as if it's a cult. I put a blame to all of us. Because I am not inherently inclined to following someone, but we are meant to be provision of the solutions. You get it? But for now, because there is a current party that is taking the lead, the blame tends to go to it. But you have seen, you said in 2005 when the multipartyism was introduced, some actual members from the opposition are also in government. Some are ministers. But what new ideas do they take? You get it? So, the blame shouldn't go to an individual or what. The blame, actually it's not a blame, it's a challenge. I challenge all of us as Ugandans to go for what works. There are these lessons, democracy, I don't know what, but one shoe cannot fit all. Okay. Depending on our culture, our history and all those things. Thank you so much.
He analyzes the challenges and he tells us why most of these political parties are coming up and what has failed, which he thinks actually is the reason for all of them coming. And he suggests something that they should be doing to address most of these things. But also want to put a torch and see what is the use of us having a multi-party governance system in existence if we must have to rely on one party to do all these things. And that's why that's the question we are now looking at. What are these things that are existing? What is this crisis, and who takes the blame for this crisis that most of these people have seen, including you, who says you have no party, you would rather form yours. What is it you're coming to solve, and it hasn't been solved? What's that?
First of all, viewers, I need protection because he said a very beautiful word when he was closing. Said one shoe can't fit all. That means that there is no president under the sun that can represent all the views of the people in the country. And that is why even the Fountain of Honor, after realizing that no party system is not, is not working it for me the way I thought, he opened up, said, let me open, let's welcome whatever party. I think the main reason we have a multi-party system is unity. Like I told you, we might belong to so many other groups, religious groups, very many others. But when we come together in a political party, you have an identity on top of your name. And so that gives you a platform to go and air out what you feel is not right, or what you feel is right and should be done more. And so political parties are the way to go. So far, I don't think my comfort is that they have tried a system without party, and they have come back to parties. That alone beats the understanding of why do we even have them. So, the challenges, did you ask?
Yes.
The challenges are a daily thing for any human being. So for this particular thing, for me, I would say that we have seen them, we have had them, we have aired them out. Now, if you're going to come up with a new political party, please let the new wave also come differently, because it is very heartbreaking to read 26 registered political parties in Uganda, and there are only 3 that are nationally sound, Then you wonder where the rest. So I think we should have the board put some restrictions on who is forming what, and what really their ideologies are, and their plan, their growth plan. We shouldn't just have a number that puts us out there like we are the most unserious country, yet we have serious citizens. This country is blessed by brilliant people, and I think we can move it forward, faster than we have been moving. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Diana. Enock.
Yes, please.
We would love to hear your take on that. Do you feel the gentleman and lady are right to say that, yeah, there must be challenges? He says the challenges do exist, and she says these challenges exist, yes, but they are normal things, they are daily things. Actually, these parties are coming up. I think it's a shout they are bringing on, but do you think these challenges really exist? Is there a crisis that we are addressing? Is there something that these people have seen lacking, and they are coming on board, wants to address these particular challenges? Or it is just a normal thing that we are just looking at, and parties are just coming because maybe they want to have this show on the TV. We have launched the Lusania and all that. What's this challenge that is coming up? And you see that if these political parties come up, maybe they are targeting this, and this challenge is a failure maybe in the system. And you tell us to who this challenge is addressed, or who is to blame for this?
Thank you very much. Yes, she says challenges exist, and then he said that when these political parties are formed, they come in camera. Yes, they try to show off that we are here, we're coming to help. Then in a few minutes, you're not going to get to listen to them anymore. I don't know where they disappear from. So, I don't think if we have a challenge that we really want to embark on to solve, that we should create many political parties that to solve that challenge. I think me as according to what according to my perspective, political parties should unite. I think I don't support the defragmentation. I don't support a lot of political parties coming up. And in fact,
when you say unite, when you say unite, do you want us to have one political party?
No, I want, if there is an opposition, why don't they unite if they have a cause? They're saying they are trying to work on a challenge, what is the major challenge that these political parties are coming with? Number one, I want us to be realistic. Every political party that is coming saying we are haggling for change of power. You know, that's the major reason why these political parties are emerging. They feel like they want change of power. You know, given the state of our president right now, it also gives you a temperament of like, okay, where are we going? So these political parties, if they think they're coming to change, for one cause of change of power, why should they now be many? Why should the opposition be over 10 or, in fact, over 29, let us say, over 25 political parties are struggling to create change? So who is who? Don't you think that we are dividing the voters? Do you think that there is disparity now? The main cause is now changed. You know? These people are just trying to hide, to say that, okay, we are fighting, we are working on this, we want to change the political power, we change what, but they have their own selfish ambitions behind them.
Okay. Thank you so much, Enock. And I think you bring it up that much as all of them are coming to tell us that they are solving something, they have their selfish ambitions. Before we get to the break, I just want all of us to use this 1 minute, because as young people, not just young, we're not no longer young people of this generation, because I'm sure that tomorrow we are promised has now come. We are now at this level where we can advise the citizens, maybe watching us out there. In just a minute, how would you tell these citizens to just differentiate between a genuine political party and the one that is just there trying to divide their intention? Like you said, some of them are selfish, and others, there are those who are really genuine and they're coming to do, maybe improve on this and on the governance that like they promise. So how would you advise these citizens out there to, because you're looking at 2026 now, how would you advise them to just differentiate between the two? All of us have just a minute to just advise these citizens, and we get to our break.
Okay. The advice I would give to citizens, mine is actually not focused to look at political parties, but to look at candidates. Because the candidates are not different from all parties. But if there is a genuine candidate who says what is right, who hits on your interests, support that candidate. Because when we follow cults, wave, you get substantial people and replace them with people who are shaking. You understand? So I understand that even candidates themselves, they go for parties because they are calculating. If there is a wave, whether I'm good or bad, I will go for that wave. But look at these candidates. More especially, there's something that is coming up. He was talking about how the politics has been commercialized. A candidate goes to the bank, gets a big loan, comes and starts funding the campaigns. Yes, you're going to eat that money. But why do you think that person is putting in that a lot? After definitely reaching to the parliament or somewhere else, they will start servicing the loan, and the 5 years will go by, and you blame him. He has done nothing, and you change him again. You bring another person with the same perspective. So for me, I don't want people to go with the waves. Sit down, look at your interest, look at the candidate, go for that candidate that you think represents your interests.
Okay, thank you. Diana, what would you advise our citizens out there listening to you?
Citizens and viewers, for as long as you're a Ugandan, your constitution mandates you to belong to a political party. And if you cannot choose a political party, then you're automatically for the ruling party. So, if you know you don't want to just be put in a bandwagon of a ruling party, please choose the party that you belong to. And let your voices be heard. Within our small groups, you can change what you want your party to represent. And then on a wider scale, you can change what you want the country to have changed. I know we are not only building for today, but even for tomorrow, for the generations to come. So it's everyone's mandate as a Ugandan to see that we move forward and for the better of our country.
Thank you. Enoch, we would also love to hear your advice to this nation and the citizens listening to us out there.
I'm not going to differ so much from James. I would also implore the citizens to look at the ideology of the candidate. Let's not focus on the commercial part of it, the finances, but look at the ideology. If you want to, if you vote someone because of finances or because of what little things that I've given you, they get touched and they feel like they bought your vote, and so even if they don't deliver, they after all paid for it. There is something paid for it. But if you vote someone according to ideology and according to what you think they can do, it would be better enough. This person is going to be like he will know that he has to work for people since that they are the ones who voted for them. So please, as you're planning to choose leaders, look at the ideology, look at the way they embrace them, they express themselves, look at what they have done around them and what they are promoting. Please, let's be conscious. However, I advise everyone to vote, because if you don't vote, I would not say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. When you talk about advising everyone to vote, in the last election, there were 10 million invalid votes. We'll talk about that later and know that who votes and how do they vote, because it seemed that like invalid ones were more than the valid votes. Thank you so much for being part of this show. We'll now take a short break. But as we return, we will now be looking more deeply into our topic today. And on that part of the show, we'll be looking at the impact and implication of these political parties ahead of the 2026. And these, the gentleman here and the lady will be back to give us more ideas, more perspective, and we get deeply to understand what exactly we should envision of these political parties as we get to this election. Thank you so much. We'll now take a break.
Digital rights are those human rights and legal rights that allow individuals to access, use, create and publish digital media, or to access and use computers, other electronic devices and telecommunication networks. Digital rights include a right to freedom of expression, information and communication through technology, a right to privacy and data protection, a right to credit for personal works, a right to universal and equal digital access, a right to identity, a right to anonymity, a right to be forgotten, and a right for protection of minors, among others. The state's digital rights are frequently violated through various unfair actions, for example, blockage of websites and social networks, theft of credentials, unauthorized use of people's data for personal gain, privacy intrusion, online censorship, arrests and intimidation of online users, internet blockages, and the proliferation of laws and regulations that undermine the potential of technology to drive social, economic, and political development worldwide. It is hence every citizen's responsibility to respect rights of other digital users and to speak out or report to the responsible parties when one's rights are violated.
Welcome back to this part of the show. In the last part of this show, we were looking at the history of these political parties. We set ground, we analyzed the current situation of political parties. We looked at the challenges that are leading to the rise of these political parties and formations. We looked at their goals, their targets, and ended up giving some advice how maybe citizens can make their choices and make what to see what a genuine party is, or what really comes to serve the interest of the people or serve this nation better could be. Now, coming back to this second part of the show, we will now look into the implication and impact of these political parties in the 2026 election. We're now going to envision and see, looking at what the grounds we have set and what we have analyzed from what is the current status quo, what should we be able to see in the 2026 election. And I'll begin right away with Honorable Nkuranga James, who is right next to me here, and tell us, from what you see now, what do you envision in the 2026 election?
Thank you, moderator. What I see in 2026, opposition is going to be more divided compared to 2021. Because you can see opposition has given birth to more political parties. The NUP has given birth to ADF, is it F? To DF. FDC gave birth to ANC, to ANT. He has given birth to PPF.
PPF, yeah.
That is all support divided. And it is going to leave NRM stronger compared to 2021. I don't think NUP still has that grasp that it had in Central because of the ego of the elites. Remember, NUP came with the ghetto politics. That's how you saw when NRM saw that cannot contain it. It went for the Kusasiras, for the full figures, such that they can a little bit absorb the pressure of NUP. Now the elites in NUP saw the ghetto politics. I think they couldn't manage the Mpugas and his colleagues. So that's how they went forming their own parties. And forming their own parties, of course, it is creating division in opposition. And I think there's a time in 2021 when President Museveni was campaigning. He said he's on ground, and by 2026 there would be no opposition. I thought he was joking, but from the look of things,
the man was right.
The man was right. And for that, opposition is going to be more divided, and NRM is taking the lead in these elections.
That's what he envisions in the 2026 election because of these political emergencies and formations. Diana, what do you envision because of what we've seen and what we've analyzed? What do you envision in the 2026 election with these new formations?
I think I don't differ from him, except that I will emphasize that the many political parties are failing because of the one dominant party that opened up without strengthening its institutions. So every time you open for democracy with weak institutions, you get form instead of substance. And everyone is now coming up with their, we are hungry. There's something we are searching for. We are looking for substance and it's not there. And that is why people are coming up thinking maybe, let me open mind. Maybe I could do better, you know. But why the problem is because they opened without proper institutions in place. So yes, the division is there as more opposition parties continue to break away from each other. And for me, what that tells me is then at the end of the day, we are just Ugandans. No one was imported. So if we are dividing ourselves and breaking away from each other, then we are betraying our own purpose. If we started as NUP and before 5 years, now you have formed another party, then we were essentially not united with one purpose. So we are betraying our own purpose. So if you know I think we should find a way of solving our conflicts within our parties, and we stay there for now. Yeah.
Okay. That's what she envisions. That's what she's seeing us getting to at the end of 2026. Enoch, if you are to sit there now, what do you see?
Okay. I am going to say that I am sorry, but I see a low turn-up of voters this time. I want us to be realistic. We're going to see a low turn-up of voters this time because now people no longer have the hope. The hope is lessened. You know, when NUP came, as he said, you know, a wave is a wave. So that's where you come to understand. By that time they told us that is a wave. We didn't know what they were meaning. We say, no, these people are just speaking, you know, analysts just want, but you realize that it was really a wave. And since it did not fulfill its purpose, it made other youths to lose hope.
Do you still maintain that it is a wave? You confirm his words?
I think I would confirm it is a wave because we are seeing new other members coming in for MP, you know, contesting, other than the previous members. So what does that mean? That explains that maybe those people didn't do well, and NUP is trying to rebrand.
Maybe they are doing well by saying we serve 5-year term, let another person take away from you.
But if you're saying they're doing well, why do they still come in and contest for their primaries?
Ugandans being Ugandans.
So what do I envision? I see that really the turn-up is not going to be so good because most of youths are now demoralized. They feel like there's nothing that is going to happen even if we go for ballot paper. There is no change, and also the people who promised us change are really not realistic. We are seeing them showing their greed in the public, trying to fight for resources, trying to fight each other. You know, when you tear up yourselves, and you know, when Noop decided to throw away someone that we knew that he was at least a political giant, he knew what to do. You know, he knew. In fact, I feel like he was really a pillar.
May we know him?
No, I think so when this Noop decided to throw this person away, I felt like now it remained with inexperienced people. Yes, we have some people who are still there, and I say Noop can still do it, but it's not the greater extent like it used to be. It was supposed to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Most of you see a lot of weakening in the opposition side, and you still see the ruling party taking it up because I mean, most of you have confirmed most of these to be waves that are coming up. But at the end of the last election, we are able to have 529 MPs enter parliament. Of these, 336 were members of the NRM, and only 57 were members of the National Unity Platform, which we think is the biggest party, the biggest opposition party now in the country. And when most of you say that now that with this coming, we may not even see it come to surface again. And most of you, you mentioned something very critical, that some of them are just coming to show up. That's why we see new people coming up. And as we head to this time, my other question would be, in your own view, do you think these people are merely showing up for only two things, visibility and an opportunity for negotiation? Because some of them who have come up, we've seen them drop, and this is a whole new face of the people coming in to get on board. Is it just about the visibility, and because of that, maybe by the time we get to the election, or even after the election, some of them will have dropped their parties, or some of them will have abandoned them and gone into something else? Is it about negotiation and visibility, or it's indeed the service they promise and good governance, and maybe the change they are coming to do? What should we settle for in all those things?
Well, with negotiation or visibility, I think it could be both. Because there is this new party called the Ecological Party. For me, I had never heard of it.
My first time.
But when Honorable Muhammad Nsereko came up, that's when we got to know it. But apparently, I learned that it had been in existence, emphasizing environmental things, planting trees.
It was there.
You get it? So they were doing their things underground, not mobilizing the masses, not with a lot of ambitions to get power, but doing actual things that are essential. So if they were planting trees and doing all those things to keep the environment, I will give them a credit. Much as the ultimate goal is to get power and all that, but I will give them credit. Now that's why I say either it is visibility for some parties, but also some action. Second, when you look at Noop, much as it is a wave, like my brother was saying, when you look at the curve, I don't think the curve is still shooting. It must have reached the peak and it's now going down. But in that shooting and moving down, I believe that Noop has inspired another faction of the population that actually was ignored by the political elites from in the beginning. The other time I saw there's a gentleman, I think he's a Rastafarian or anything, who was going to, when they were mobilizing funds, he went and took some money. He went in his rags and everything, with the dreads and all that. Now, that thing, when you look at it, you may think he went there, but that motivation to get him from his ghetto, and he thinks he should get involved into what is taking place in his own country. That motivation alone, you can never take it for granted. So I think I will give Noop credit, much as the curve is going down, but we shall not underestimate that motivation it gave to the seemingly isolated faction of the population. So visibility is there, yes, but also some effort. We must acknowledge that there is some effort. And I think like she has been advocating that we should have more of these parties. Yes, people should have spaces to belong, but we shouldn't forget the other core of solving people's problems. So it is visibility, and it is both.
Okay. Diana, when you nod, do we say yes to him, or there must be something else that these people are looking at?
Yes to him, because there's a negotiation for legitimate politics. Most youth, he said something about the youth that we don't even know, we don't feel like we belong anywhere. And I'm sure behind the cameras, most of you will sound homeless politically. You don't think your views are even considered or if heard at all. And so far I think we are doing well. We are doing well. Whoever is coming up, they are working towards that hunger. So they're negotiating. They're putting their right foot ahead to see that they occupy some space and change something. So we appreciate the foundation, and that is why we had to look at the history before. But also know that we have to, at the end of the day, this is a government issue. It's about governance. We need to, I think, to publicly and fearlessly ask for reforms, for policy reforms. We need to know what democracy is, not just about shouting the word. And until we get there, we will always have one party rule, other parties aggrieved at the end of the day, division amongst ourselves, and yet we are together working for the common good.
Yeah, thank you. Enock, I see the eyes are seeing far, the mind must be thinking deeply. Do you think these people are really coming to do something in 2026, or they're just coming to look for this opportunity of who can invite them and discuss something, who can invite them and give them something and they call it the end, or they are really coming to offer service and give the change they deserve? He talks of the ecological party and what they do, which is really good behind, besides the political side of it. But do you think, is this what they are coming for really, or they are all coming for visibility and maybe to have an opportunity for negotiation?
Thank you very much. We are going to make a reflection on NOP, 2021 elections. We really have to credit and applaud NOP for what it did. NOP inspired all youths. It inspired the privileged people. It made youth to get up from their comfortable seats. It made youth to know that they should take an upper hand in the politics of Uganda. And youths constituting almost 70% of the population of Uganda, they realized that they have a big say in the politics. However, they were thrown back. You know, they were not heard. That's why I ran back to what I was watching a certain interview with Dr. Sarah Barrett, and she was saying that there is no longer essence for youth MPs, you know, because now Uganda consists of almost 70% of youth. But we acknowledge these youths, empower them to come and stand up for politics. But I think this has been done by NOP. You realize through NOP, many youths emerged, you know, many youths joined political parties, many youths trying to follow up politics, you know. Most of them used to just come and have fun, you know. They could come, run over those vehicles, jump, drum, dance, drink, and go back to their homes. But this time we see youths coming up to take over positions. So I really credit NOP, you know. I really credit that by the time it was a movement, we really credit it, and it made us to open our minds, think outside the box, and embrace what is happening. We realized instead of lamenting, it made us to walk out of those zones of lamenting, but rather taking action. But then you say also, to a certain extent, the many fragments still, I'm going to insist, are not necessary.
Okay.
They're not really necessary. We again, the youths we inspired, we're now breaking them down, we're now dividing them, you know, and now they are looking at our ideologies, the elders' ideologies. What kind of leaders are we trying to nurture? Because we are looking at you, the elder people who have been with the what we call the political generals. We are looking at you, but what are you spreading? What sound are you sending to us? You get it? What impartation are we getting from you?
Okay.
So I believe these political parties have done great, and they're really doing well. Sometimes, to some extent, in fact, they're making these youths to be involved instead of them being idle.
Okay.
They're being included in the politics forums and trying to work into the governance of our country.
Thank you, Enoch. And once we get to believe that maybe some of these people are doing something, because you are stressing it ably, that actually NUP has also done some work, despite what the goal, the ultimate goal is. They've been able to bring up a number of youth, participate up front, not just from the behind and from the back side of the room. We are now at the tables and coming to decide something. Now we are seeing most of these things, and the question still runs in our minds, because we haven't addressed it, and we are just getting to 2026, and this will be at the minds and heads of many Ugandans. What we see currently on these formations coming up and heading to this election, what would one call it? Should we say it's political maturity? Should we say it's something that when it comes up, it will influence most of these ideas and decisions and bring them on board? Or should we say it is a choice that is made by most of these people coming up? What would we call it? Is it a military tool used for governance intentionally to make sure that they divide opposition and maybe remain the only standing party? Or it is a political maturity? Ugandans have seen the light and they all are aiming for the position of the fountain of honor, or the position of any member of parliament that is coming up, and they are choosing these political parties. What do we call it? Is it political maturity, or it is any of these other reasons? This time round, let's respect the lady on this show, and let her come first on this particular question. Diana.
I would like to believe it's both. It's both. And I like to start with the positive side, because we were given chance to have to create or come up with our own ideologies. That's how we have the one that we like to see as a youth-founded political party, and that's the National Unity Party, because it has opened up, like they said, people from all walks of life now feel valid in our country to decide, to advocate, to reason for themselves. And so for that matter, the mere fact that other political parties feel like they're coming, I'm sure they're just coming to refine what they think is missing in the present parties. So I would call that maturity. We are growing now. To a greater side, it is a tool of control, because I'll again repeat Professor Mahmoud's quote, where he says that political parties in Africa are too often vehicles of control rather than representation. Because honestly, if I entered this room and the three of you are together against me, I would have fear for my life. But if I would have a way of entering your minds and the three of you are not together, then I would stand and just watch you beat each other. Yeah. So I think the fact that we have very weak institutions is a deliberate move from the leaders to not have us exercise full democracy like we should. And so that's their tool, that's their way of working. Okay. So it's upon the people, the opposition parties, to sit and see what works for them. They might not unify to say let's have one leader, but maybe they might control the number they have and work towards the same goals, and stop those fights within parties. Even the ruling party has the fights within the parties. You saw primary elections going on, where one comes as the NRM, then the other one, they have beaten them, and they're going to come now as independent of the same party. So it's happening, and for me, I feel now on a bigger extent it's a tool to cling to power and weaken all the others. But also on the other hand, you blindfold that you have given them freedom, and so they are growing politically, and so everyone can come up.
Thank you, Diana. She highlights that this is, yes, political maturity, but also says it's a tool to really bring this confusion and weakness within these other political actors. What do you make of it as you, as someone who has an affiliation rather than have a political party as of now? What do you call that? Is it maturity, as she says, or it is a tool that is just coming to weaken us?
Thank you, moderator. I will not differ so much from Madam Diana. First of all, we are now talking about democracy. But democracy, like any other thing, it is something that grows. And for us, our democracy did not grow naturally. We actually inherited democracy after independence. Remember, we're into our kingdoms here. Kings were doing what they were doing, and we were comfortable with what was happening. But when the big powers came and occupied us, they were here for something like 60-something years. Now, when they were leaving, we inherited a system. I think, like, of us, 50-something countries inherited the same constitution. You get it? Uganda, Rwanda, the exact same constitution. Now, this is something. First of all, democracy is good. It was good. But at that time, people were not prepared for that kind of democracy. Now, but we blindly followed it, and you can see most of the countries from independence for something like 20 years, wars, and all that until they stabilize. A few countries that did not have wars, it is the countries that got clear leaders from the beginning, and they somehow calibrated the democracy they had inherited to fit the demands of that time. Now, this is 2025. We have moved from independence, which was 62. I think, like what she said, there is some maturity now. The democracy is growing, and the democracy is actually fitting into our culture, because it is culture that shapes thinking, it is culture that shapes philosophy, and from there, you can now have the right policies to govern people. You understand? So, I think the parties are coming. We are also growing in democracy. We are even our leaders are embracing that. Oh, there's freedom of speech. There's all that, you get it. Even our people are getting out of fear, because we had been in fear for hundreds of years. If a king says this, you don't, whether it is correct or wrong, you have to keep, you get it. So we are growing. There has been mass education, and I think we are all coming together to embrace something. First of all, like I said in the beginning, one shoe cannot fit all. The democracy in the United Kingdom is not the democracy in the United States, because they are two different cultures. Certainly, it cannot be the democracy in Uganda. So we can have the broader democracy, but with slight differences that favors exactly what people want.
Okay.
Then, as a tool of control, yeah, that one is absolutely correct. Much as we are growing and multipartyism is coming, but also those who are in power are using the advantage to divide and have their own support, and also divide these ones and keep the grid. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, James. Enoch, we are looking at what we can call this emergency of new formations and political parties, because it's coming from a point where we could say maybe, yeah, people have grown, people have seen things, people have experienced, and it's time for them to take it on. The two panelists here already agree that, yeah, it's partly a tool for governance that the ruling party maybe is using to reduce the opposition, but also divide it the more. Like, she gives an analogy that if she enters this room and finds the three of you against her, and now she finds the way of dividing you. Is this the way, maybe how government is trying to enter the minds of people and divide them as a tool for a political tool, or you strongly believe in one thing, that this is maturity that we are seeing for political parties? What would you call that?
Thank you very much again. We begin with the proverb that says that divided we fall, united we stand. You get it? So whenever I want to attain something and I realize these people are in one accord, I first seek for a way of breaking the accord, breaking the cohesion. So when I break the cohesion, I will go and whisper to each of them differently. I whisper to them, I tell them, now you know what, this one is not fine, this is fine, this is the correct thing, this is the correct thing. So I first break the cohesion. After breaking the cohesion, I whisper to them what I want, I incline them to what I want, then I ignite a spark, get it, and I watch. As that spark is ignited, fire flames through them, and it blossoms, and everyone is doing what they want. Get it? So that explains why I call it a tool. If all opposition constituted one political party, I want us to imagine that. If all opposition constituted one political party and they fronted one person, don't you think that unity would be too much? But look at social media. I am for Bobby Wine, I am for Mpuga, I am for UPC, I am for this. You get it? So I am dividing you, fragmenting you in ideologies so that I can rule. So by the time you come up to constitute, to come together, unite, then try to fight me, I am way ahead. So I call it already a political tool and a massive and a fundamental political tool that the NRM government is using to stay in power and to govern Uganda for long. However, also the maturity, it has caused hunger. It has created hunger and thirst for power among the citizens. It is that hunger. I want to see what happens. I want also to reach there. You know, there is that zeal. You know, greed. The zeal has emerged to create greed also. You know, where there is zeal, where there is anger and eagerness, greed will be hiding. It just wants to get a loophole and it will enter. It will then confront you and take a course. So as greed is taking a course, I think I would later say that the maturity comes in that people have grown up. People have known that, in fact, it is more of exposure. As we have gone on, we have been exposed. We have seen how this one is doing it, this one is doing it. Right now, even a young person can begin up a political party. But before, you wouldn't even, you would just look at yourself and be, no, how can I, how really I, you know? But now it has made you're exposed, now you see.
Yes.
You know, I can stand among this 1,000 people and I lie to them because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, because you realize that what we see is not the reality. They shadow us. Before these politicians coming to us and sweetening their words, making everything very beautiful to us, behind them there is a script they are reading. You know, they are reading a script that is not embedded in them, but however it's a behavior they're trying to create and to show us.
Thank you so much, Enock. We have all made this light and have made this beam. We are expanding the beam from our lights and looking at 2026. And when we put these thoughts together, probably there's a thinking that 2026 may give us a more complex ballot and political field. And as we wind up this discussion, I'd want us, all of us, to take a minute maybe and see how should we advise the Electoral Commission and the general public to prepare for this complex ballot and political field, which has been tested from the primaries already of the interim party alone, and now this is a single party, they are fighting each other. What should we expect when the party has other parties coming up to actually go against this one party? It's likely to be a complex and more difficult, a complex ballot, but a difficult political field. How do you advise the general public, and maybe the EC alone, to prepare for this election? Let's hear from you, James, about this.
Thank you so much. I think what the Electoral Commission has to do is to make itself home, where people run to. Because from NRM primaries, you can see candidates are coming as independent candidates. That shows you the confidence they still have in the Electoral Commission. They say home has betrayed me, but at least there's this uncle who may be honest. So if we are to have a peaceful election period, let the Electoral Commission be as independent as it can, such that it becomes a home where people run to. There were injustices in the NRM. There are going to be injustices in the DP. You saw actually. There are going to be injustices in the NUP and all other parties, and all those injustices produce independent candidates. And those independent candidates, they are not independent on themselves. They represent the people who selected them. Now, where do we absorb this anger from? I have voted for my candidate. He had got the majority of votes and was not declared. People get frustrated. Now, when they get frustrated, they wait for general EC. Now, if general EC is not also fair, that frustration is absorbed and it keeps within the society, and it builds and builds, and it may explode into something. Now, for us to be sure, let the EC be as independent as it can, such that all these people that have been mistreated from their homes will come and get justice from the EC.
Okay, thank you. Diana, what do you think is your advice to the two bodies, actually, the general public and the EC itself, to prepare for this complex ballot and maybe the political field we are envisioning ahead of the 2026 election?
Thank you, moderator. It has been a very wonderful session. And for me, largely, it's to the EC. The EC has the ability to strengthen its institution as the EC. As Ghana shows, strong institutions elevate parties. As Nigeria shows, weak institutions fragment hope. So it's upon them to give us a good environment for us to vote peacefully, happily, and participate. To the general public, it's upon us. If we want to see the future of tomorrow, we have got to take care of ourselves right now. So let's stay composed, participate fully, because it's our place to be. And that is both in representation and in casting our votes. So I think I'll call upon composure, and I'll call upon the EC to really guarantee us a good environment 2026.
Thank you. Enoch, as we wind up this, how would you advise the general public and the EC to prepare for this complex election coming up?
First of all, for the EC, I would really advise that you make it, that EC should be really honest and should be independent, however much the director is voted by the president. I believe we can try not to emulate what he wants, but to emulate the ethics of the EC, because now we are seeing that independent people are finding trust in you more than in their own parties, as Mr. James has said. So behold the trust we give to you, and we expect you to keep the trust and do everything accordingly, and transparency. We know you can't side. You're an independent body and you're not ready to side. So for the general public, my fellow youths, let's engage, let's vote, but think about your life. Think about your life. Do not involve in reckless politics. Don't involve in reckless hanging on with your life. Do not play with your life. I am seeing people raising on vehicles up, drumming, vehicles are running, and you are there. Please think about your life. Think about your future. I am telling you this, that when you die, the politician will go on. He will even win and will pay 5 million to your home, and that's the end. But you'll bring sorrow to your family. You bring sorrow to your family, and your parents will be they will be grieved for long. So please think about your life, think about people around you, and think about our nation, Uganda. Uganda needs you alive. We can only go together, grow together, and do everything together if you are alive and living. So, number one thing, life first. Then you can cast your vote. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, our dear panelists, for sharing your deep insights, and thank you to you all, our dear viewers, for tuning in and being here. Today we explored both the motives behind the emergence of new political parties, but also the impact and implication as we envision the 2026 election. What is clear is that Ugandan citizens are demanding more, and more is coming up. That's why, because of the political maturity, we see more political parties coming up. But also, our panelists put it right that there are also a hand of having this as a tool of governance. But they also raise of these critical questions and credibility, preparedness of these political parties, how ready they are. Those are the few things we've been talking about today. And as citizens, we have a role to play. Let's not just observe, but let's continue making our voice count and making sure that what we do it constructively and more seriously. It's been the Inter-University debate here at Civic Space TV. My name is Kato Gilbert Bitariho. Until next time, and I want to thank Center for Constitutional Governance for making this happen. See you next time, same place and same time. Thank you so much.